Crisis Media Center begins its work. We have slight changes in our program. And now, Oleksiy Mazepa, a spokesman of the General Staff, will make presentation about the situation in the Ministry of Defense. Good morning. Today, Minister of Defense General Poltorak will have a meeting with the former head commander of the United NATO forces in Europe, full General Mr. Wesley Clark. The parties will discuss military and political situation in Ukraine, prospects of reforms in the sector, and assistance to Ukraine. Also this week, Minister of Defense will meet the delegation of the subcommittee on defense issues from the European Parliament. Delegation of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine will participate in coordination and political and military committees of the defense ministers in Southern and Eastern Europe in Bucharest. Besides that, delegation from Navy forces of Ukraine will visit the Royal Navy in the United Kingdom. On the framework of humanitarian assistance, Ukrainian army has got a batch of medical kits from the United Kingdom. As of now, these medical kits are used in tactical training on tactical medical aid in Shirokye Lan training field near Mykolaiv. And on March 19, on this very training field, there will be open day for mass media representatives, for journalists, both domestic and international. Besides that, Ukrainian Army Forces has received part of humanitarian assistance from Canada, which comprises 60 units of the night vision equipment. General amount of this assistance is around $2,600 and $890. Also, Ukrainian army forces receive military equipment and machinery. Also, repair crews have restored and repaired more than 283 units of machinery and equipment, including tanks, self-propelled howitzers, anti-tank guns, APVs, etc. Besides that, some 239 units of heavy trucks were repaired and delivered back to our army forces. Thus, from the beginning of ATO, the repair crews have restored more than 21,478 units of equipment and machinery.
Продовжують надавати допомогу.
Ukrainian citizens continue to provide assistance to Ukrainian armed forces. On the framework of Support Ukrainian Army campaign, Ministry of Defense of Ukraine has received from legal entities and physical persons more than 155,700,000 hryvnia, and out of that amount, more than 2 million these were received in 2015. and also people do calls to the mobile number 565 to collect money for Ukrainian army. Besides that, monetary support in foreign currency this year amounted to 392,000 hryvnia, which will be directed for material support of the army. Ministry of Defense express deep thanks to all Ukrainian and to all people who supported Ukrainian army, and this campaign support Ukrainian army. Also, from the beginning of the anti-terrorist operation, armed forces of Ukraine continuously receive supplies from the state reserves. That is to implement the Cabinet of Ministers ordinance. State agency on reserves provided 56 tons of fuels, 229 tents. These are big army tents which can house between 20 and 80 people. Also, field ovens were supplied in a number more than 253, and other supplies. Yesterday, in the military institute in Kiev National University named Taras Shevchenko, started the 5-day training for mobilized journalists, which will work in the ATO zone. This event was visited by Petro Mehed from the Minister of Defense, Member of Parliament Mustafa Nayem, and Deputy Minister on Information Ms. Tatiana Popova. The mobilized journalists who participated in the event were selected to fill positions of the press officers in ATO, and out of the ministry has selected 40 candidates. After training, journalists will go to the ATO area. These were brief results of the ministry activities for the last day, and now I give the floor to Colonel Anatoliy Stelmakh, who will inform you on the situation in ATO zone. You are on air, please speak. Despite peaceful agreements, Russian terrorist groups continues to shell at all positions in Donetsk and Lugansk Oblast. Within the last 24 hours, the proxies 30 times violated the ceasefire regime. The biggest activities of criminals was observed near Donetsk. It's around 8 a.m., 12 p.m. and 5 p.m. They shelled Avdiivka from 122 millimeter artillery. Besides that, they 3 times shelled from tanks and mortars. Also, within 24 hours, they shelled Pisky and Opetne from small arms, automatic grenade launchers. Near Mariupol, the criminals 4 times shelled Shirokino from small arms and mortars. And in general, during the last 24 hours, the enemies 9 times used mortars and grenade launchers, 3 times used artillery, 4 times tanks, and 7 times small arms. Thank you.